Good evening, everyone, my dear children, mamas, and daddies. Thank you for watching the storytelling session on every Sunday evening from Mindseed Preschool and Daycare. My name is Aarti, and today I bring to you another story which is called The Duck Who Didn't Like to Share. That's very sad. We all should share, don't we? Shouldn't we? Yes, we should. So let's listen to the story where there was a small little pond in which there were many ducks staying together and having fun, splashing water on each other, swimming all day, eating whatever food that they could get, and playing around in the pond. Now, just next to the pond was a children's park. So every day the children used to come and they used to throw little puff corns that the ducks used to love eating. And that was their favorite time. They used to wait every evening for all the children to come and throw puff corns for them to eat. Now, all these ducks who were brothers and sisters to each other, they were friends to each other, who lived together happily, used to share all the puffcorns that were thrown every evening. So, whenever the puffcorns were thrown, ducky number one would come and munch, yum, 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 yum. Ducky number two would wait and yum, 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 yum. Then ducky number three would swim and they would all take turns to eat the yummy, yummy puffcorn. There was one duck amongst them. One day it thought, what if I swim very fast and eat all the puffcorns thrown on the pond? I would get it all to myself. I wouldn't share with anybody, and I would be strong eating so much of food. His name was Dinky the duck. Dinky the duck, the next evening, decided to swim very fast, to and fro, up and down, from left to right, and eat up all the puffcorns that were thrown in the pond. Yes, it was evening, and he was all charged up, ready to do the trick that he had thought of. All the children came as usual, and all the ducks were eagerly waiting for all the puffcorns to be thrown. They knew they would all get their share. They knew they were supposed to have all the puffcorns in turn, but they didn't know what Dinky the duck had planned. So, one after the other, when all the puffcorns were dropped, Dinky the duck decided to take all of them. Nom, 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 nom. One, nom, 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 nom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, his stomach was full. Then the children had their fun. They didn't realize that it was just that one duck who was having all the puffcorns. They simply enjoyed throwing all the puffcorns at all the ducks. And they said a goodbye to them and said they would come tomorrow, the next day. So on Monday, Dinky the duck had 7 puffcorns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And he was full. The next day was Tuesday. Again, Dinky the duck got ready and waited to eat many more today. 1, 2, 3, yum, 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 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh, I'm full. He had it all. On Tuesday, he had 10 popcorn. His friends were a little upset. They were wondering, why is Dinky doing like this? Is Dinky very hungry? Does he want to eat all of them by himself? They were wondering. They were a little upset, but it's okay. They gave up for his brother, for his friend on that day, and waited for the next day to come. And they thought maybe today Dinky would want to share the puffcorns that were thrown. But that didn't happen. On Wednesday, Dinky had more than 10, 11 and 12 and 13 puffcorn, all by himself. All the ducks were a little angry. They were a little furious. They thought they would go to Dinky and ask what was going on, why he didn't want to share any of the puffcorns. But none of them did that. They still wanted to wait for another day to pass by. The next day also Dinky did the same. On Thursday, he had 15 puffcorns, 10 and 5, 15 of them. He was getting fatter by the day. And all the ducks decided to go and talk to Dinky. Dinky, what is your problem? Dinky, why do you not want to share it with us? What did Dinky have to say? Ha ha ha! I can swim faster than all of you. I can go to and fro, up and down, left and right. And I can take my share of popcorns. You could also do the same. Why don't you swim faster and take all the popcorns? You can do that. I'm not going to stop you. Catch it if you can. Eat it if you can. Now Dinky was being a little mean. All his brothers and sisters and friends were a little upset with him, and they were also angry. They decided to swim faster than Dinky the next day and catch all the popcorn. Yes, it was gonna be a competition of eating the popcorn. That's not a very good idea between friends and brothers and sisters, but no option. On Friday, all of them got ready to catch all the puffcorns. But you know what? Who won? Dinky. Dinky was still the fastest. He went up and down, to and fro, right and left, and ate up 20 popcorns. 10 plus 10. 20 of them today. All the ducks decided that they wouldn't talk to Dinky at all now. They wouldn't be friends with him. They wouldn't call him his brother anymore. They were very angry, but they couldn't help it. They all had to stay in the same pond together. So Dinky was all by himself. But he didn't mind because he was enjoying having so many puffcorns each day, day after day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then came Sunday. Now, Sunday was a holiday for all the children, and they all came to the children's park. Lots of them. So many children. And they threw a lot many puffcorns, which Dinky the duck couldn't manage to eat. So he had an idea. He decided to store it on his back like this. Thought to himself that I would pile it on my back and I would keep having the puffcorns all day, even at the time when the children didn't come to feed them. And he piled it on Sunday. It became so heavy on his back, but he didn't mind it. He sat nicely on one corner of the pond and kept eating his popcorn all day. Soon it was time for winter. Winter is the time when all the ducks move to a place where it is not very cold. So all his brothers and sisters and friends, they all flew away to a place which was warmer, which was not as cold. They all flew away. But Dinky, the duck, couldn't fly because all the puffcorns were too heavy on his back. He had to stay all through the winter on one corner of the pond and wait for the winter to go past. He didn't even have all the children feeding him puffcorns anymore because on winter days, children didn't come to play. They didn't come close to the pond to throw any puffcorns. Soon Dinky was left with no food. He was very, very sad. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have any friends. He didn't have any brothers and sisters around. And no food to eat too. He was very sad. He kept thinking of all the mistakes that he had done. He kept thinking that he didn't like to share. He was very selfish. He was very mean. He prayed to God and wished and hoped that all his brothers and sisters would come back. He wanted them to forgive him. He promised that he would really, really share all the food with his brothers, sisters, and friends. Soon it was summer, and all the duckies flew back to the pond. They also wanted to meet their brother Dinky and make sure that he was fine. They had forgiven and forgotten all that Dinky had done, all the meanness that he had. Didn't want to share any food with them. They had forgiven him. Dinky was so glad to see his brothers and sisters. They hugged each other and played together, splashed water of the pond, and waited for the children to come on the summer evening to feed them puffcorns, their yummiest food, their favorite time in the evening, waiting for the children to feed them puffcorn. And yes, it was that time. They were glad, they were happy to see all the children come and throw puffcorns at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. They all shared it together. They ate the yummy, yummy puffcorns and stayed happily together. Dinky promised that he would never ever be mean. He would share with his brothers, sisters, and friends. And they all stayed happily in the pond together. This was a story of the duck who was selfish, but learned a lesson at the end that it is always good to share and care for each other. My dear children, when you go to school, you must share with your friends all the toys, all the storybooks, your snacks. When you meet your friends and your brothers, sisters, and cousins at home, you should share all your things with them. That's the way to be happy and good. So see you. Goodbye. Take care till we meet next on a Sunday evening for the storytelling session with Mindseed Preschool and Daycare. Bye.